At last, the Dark Council has answered my petitions and sent a fine young Sith to help secure the temple.
I'm just here to check the plumbing.
Of course, I've been ignored again. How stupid of me. If you're here, however, you must have the authority to enter the Dark Temple. You could still save this planet.
What are you babbling about, old man?
You're a brave one, aren't you? Or is it that you sense my weakness? But not everything grows weaker with age. The Dark Temple is ancient, built during a previous incarnation of our empire. 1,000 years ago, our own emperor buried his enemies here. These enemies remain powerful, even in death, which is why the temple was sealed. But now, something terrible has happened.
I don't like where this is leading.
With the Emperor's attention elsewhere, a group of ambitious but ignorant Sith thought to gain power by raiding the temple. They didn't find the relics they sought. Instead, they awoke an ancient Sith Lord, Lord Kalig, and their expedition plunged into madness.
If I go in, will I go mad too?
Not necessarily. Many of the troops sent in after were simply slaughtered. Because Lord Kalig died by ambush, I believe he awakened unaware of his own death, and his expectations became reality for those around him. His power overwhelmed all inside the temple. And even now the workers plot wars against each other, believing themselves Sith Lords, and drawing terrible power from Kalig himself.
Yawn.
You are lucky I have no other to turn to in this dark time. There are still more ancient Sith Lords whose spirits lay dormant in the temple. If the ancient Sith Lords are woken by the violence within, they could overrun Dromund Kaas.
I was just thinking of getting off this planet.
If the other ancients awake and escape, there will be nowhere in the galaxy safe from their wrath. I have studied all of the burial chambers within. Each was made with the same ancient design, one we can exploit. If you fuse the 500-kilogram hinges on each tomb door, even a violent assault should not be able to wake the ancients.
There will be no survivors.
That will not stop the next group of idiots from putting us right back in this situation. The team I sent in earlier was using a massive metal torch, effective but slow, I'm afraid. They did not make it far. The torch must be recovered, and the doors of the ancients sealed.
Hello, stranger. My internal chronometer tells me it has been exactly 963 years since this hologram was made. Have the Sith truly lived in fear of me for so long?
I guess that would depend on who you are and who you ask.
A careful answer. But you certainly don't need to fear me. This image is all that remains of SWtOR. Like so many before me, I challenged the Emperor and was buried in this temple. Fortunately, I had just enough time to make this, an interactive image that would transmit my secrets to whomever was bold enough to find my tomb and unlock it.
Am I supposed to care?
You should. Your whole society has been misled. The way of the Sith lies in channeling the Force through the use of powerful emotions. Fear is the chief of these. The Sith feed on palpable dread.
Is there a point in all of this?
As I discovered, no great knowledge comes without great patience. Fear gives temporary power, and passion is easily manipulated. Real strength in the Force comes when one is no longer afraid. One can purge fear when one stops grasping, after power, after things, after life itself, and allows the Force to guide him. There is only the Force.
You're weak and a fool.
My peers obviously did not think so. They considered my teachings dangerous. What I learned only lives on through this image and its device. Yet I am one with the Force, eternal and at peace. Take them. Take my teachings to the Sith. They will find power there, but a different kind. Not of darkness, but light.
These heresies must be destroyed.
Then do so. Strike out against knowledge and see what comes of it. If you destroy these teachings, the light does not go out. Remember, fear is not the only way.
You're back. I hope you sealed the chambers of the ancients, SWtOR's chamber especially. I'm terrified to think what would happen if SWtOR and his crazed ideas were to re-emerge.
SWtOR was nobody. Some Sith who turned light side.
Do not underestimate the power of the light which eternally seeks to destroy us. SWtOR's secrets have been contained along with the other ancients. You have done well.
Finally, someone who can keep their head in a crisis. Rebel slaves hit my team in the jungle. They stole weapons, supplies. As if that wasn't bad enough, the idiots ransacked our spires for parts. Without those components, we've got a lightning spire building up dangerous energy levels. It'll crater half of Kaas City if it blows.
I'd love to chat, but I really must run.
Wait, the Empire needs someone with your talent. Most of my men ran off. Some tried to reclaim the spire parts, but the rebels cut them down. I came back here for reinforcements. We need to recover the components the rebels stole and get that lightning spire back online before it goes critical.
Sounds like suicide to me.
I'd be long gone if I thought we didn't have a chance. At least give it a shot. The rebels are camped along the river. Blast them down, pry the stolen components from their hands, and then reinstall them at the spire. If the river runs red with rebel blood, I'll throw in something extra.
You can relax. I replaced the spire components.
I was just about to call in evacuation orders for the city. Well done. The rebel slaves will think twice before tampering with Imperial property again.
Second of your time, please. Oh, and you have colleagues. Unexpected, but no matter. Mind a 20. Imperial Intelligence.
The faster you talk, the better.
You are new faces on Dromund Kaas. A unique group in a unique situation. I need you to meet a man. Go where he says and do what he asks. There's little danger. But you must not question him.
I'll play your game. But if this is some sort of setup, I'll hunt you down.
Of course, my lord. The man is named Manda, and he is in a local cantina. Tell him the Lord of Sorrow sent you. Good luck. We will not speak again.
Manda, the Lord of Sorrow sent me.
Listen carefully. I can say this once. A Chiss security officer stands at the bank. Hand him this gambling chip. He will give you a small item and further instructions. Now walk away casually.
I have a gambling chip for you.
And I have a package for you. Do not open it. Better if you don't even look at it. There is an NK line droid. I'll show you where to find it. The package goes there. Long live the Emperor.
I have a package for you.
Empire, we are its fist. Together we will choke the life
I,
from the
in turn,
Republic.
have something for you to show appreciation. If we have not caught the Republic's attention with this sequence, they simply aren't paying attention. Empire forever.
Exactly as reported. A Degree 6 revolt, population equivalent to the Duros uprising on SWtOR. Subjects occupy a moderate radius of jungle. Good. Good. Welcome, apprentice. Your timing couldn't be better. I am Lord Drow. When the Empire encounters resistance on its conquered worlds, they call me. I'm here to end the slave uprising on Dromund Kaas.
You enjoy your job, don't you?
Dominating lesser beings and squashing their will to resist? Of course I enjoy it. I think you will too. The situation is this. A Sith Lord was constructing a colossal statue of himself in the jungle. His slaves revolted and armed themselves. The Colossus remains unfinished and well-armed slaves now control the jungle. An embarrassment for the Empire, but an opportunity for me.
Sounds like the perfect opportunity to thin the slave population.
Slave deaths will be a byproduct of my plan, but not the focus. I'm testing a toxic weapon, a poison called Quell. Its victims experience a prolonged state of agonizing pain before finally dying. The victims' allies are so horrified by Quell's effects they lose their wills to resist. At least that's what I intend to prove.
What a horrible thing.
That's one of the things I love best about it. I need someone to introduce a controlled amount of Quell into the slaves' water supply, so that I can determine the proper dosage. The work is dangerous, there will be armed slaves everywhere, but your success will be well rewarded. What do you say?
I'm busy right now.
This is an important opportunity to advance our Empire's ability to control its interests. Reconsider.
Stop talking. I'll do it.
Superb. Then let's get started. My assistant, Sergeant Slarin, will recommend the correct dosage of Quell and give you a supply. See him at the research tent.
If I know Lord Drow's tastes, which unfortunately I do, he sent you for the Quell toxin.
The sooner we get this done, the better.
Impatient? Of course you are. My superior certainly knows how to choose his assistants. What if I told you this experiment is pointless? That past studies have shown increased suffering has no impact on the speed of surrender. This has nothing to do with accelerating the end of a rebellion. Lord Drow simply takes perverse thrill in gratuitous suffering.
I'm quickly losing interest.
Don't you see? Lord Drow compromises efficiency for his own twisted fixations. I want this assignment over with. The faster this rebellion ends, the faster I'll be reassigned to more important work. Serving Lord Drow's bloodlust has stunted my career. If not for his inefficiency, I'd be a captain by now.
It just seems like a waste.
I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm looking for an ally. Lord Drow's dosage of Quell toxin will have slaves writhing in agony for pointless weeks, during which this area will remain volatile. I've prepared a dose that will kill the slaves efficiently, which is better for the Empire and for me. Will you deliver my dosage instead?
I want these renegade slaves to pay for disobeying the Empire.
You're not merely prolonging the slaves' agony, but my own as well. Committed to your work, aren't you? Very well. Take the Quell toxin and inject it into the slave camp's water filtration systems. See Lord Drow for your payment when you're done.
You delivered the exact results I hoped for. Quell is like an imbibed torture device infesting those rebel slaves. It's exhilarating to see the effects on the survivors who can only stand by and watch helplessly.
And for the last order of business, let's talk money.
I promised you'd be compensated well, and I stand by my promises. Quell toxin will be a great asset to the Empire. Uprisings will end painfully and decisively. You've earned your reward, my friend. Now go. I have horror and despair to observe and chronicle.
A whole group of nasty characters. Just what's needed. Seeing as how you're already killing slaves and causing a fuss, how'd you like to make a pile of credits?
Can't have too many credits.
That's what I like to hear. Let me give you the lowdown. So Darth Vowron is on the Dark Council, and his apprentice Lord Ket wants to advance, so he starts building a giant statue to his master. But Lord Ket doesn't want his master to know, so he brings in slaves from off-world. Slaves rebel, and we get this mess.
I assume you weren't hired to tell tourists the fascinating tale of the slave rebellion.
Here's where it gets complicated. Lord Ket wants to save face, but secretly. He calls in me and my mercs. By the time we get here, the slaves have captured some giant industrial drills, and they're getting ready to bring down the whole giant statue. Our best team goes in with explosives to blow up the drills. Slaves kill every last one. Got a pile of credits for anyone who grabs those explosives, hooks them to a giant drill, then fights off slaves until the explosives detonate. That was a fantastic show. That drill just lit up the night. Here's the credits, as promised.